Okay, welcome everyone. In this video, I'm going to go through the Excel Module 1. I'll do it probably in two parts and to try to keep the video as short as possible. So we have a working file. It's called ILX1-1. And the first step is to tell you to change the name. So I'm going to hit F12 to change the name. And we're going to change it to ILEX1 posting, followed by your initials. I already have it done, so I'm going to just use that name and let it overwrite the file. Yes, I do. I must have the workbook open already, so let me close that. If you get that message, that means it's open, so let me close it, and we're good. All right, so let's try this one more time. And we'll save it. Yes, it exists. Thank you very much. I will choose to replace. So we have already talked about the different aspects of the formula bar, the cell, and how to move around the worksheet and a few simple things. So we're going to start right off with number 3, which is click in cell B4. Remember, you can just type in cell B4 here if you want. So here is B4, and a lot of times I will do it just to make sure I'm in the right cell. So I just typed in B4 and went there, and it says drag from B4 to B11. So I'm just going to click anywhere in the middle, and you see that it looks like a little plus sign, and drag all the way down. I could also click here, and then shift click down here to select it as well. So you do your favorite method as you would like. And that just shows you how to select things. You don't have to do anything at that point in time. But if I were to make it bold, it would make all of them bold. So we'll unbold it and start from scratch. Now we're going to click in cell F3. And we're going to type in total. And click enter there. And we're going to click in cell A12. And type Vancouver. To make sure I'm in the right spot, I'll just type in A12, and there is Vancouver. And it tells us to press the tab key. The tab key will take it to the right. Just like entering enter and then going to the right. So we're going to type in 130, tab, rather 120, 130, 117, and 130, and press tab again. I'm now in number 4. We're going to click cell B3, which is here. Wants us to hit delete, and that deletes everything that's in the cell. And the next spot is to do C3 to E3, and we'll hit delete again. That was number 5. So going into B3 again, we're going to type in Q1. And that was number 6. Number 7 is we're going to use that to autofill the contents. Now, because it's got Q1, it's going to assume that you're going to want to change it to Q2, Q3, Q4 when you paste it. So notice it says Q2, Q3, and Q4. As soon as you release it, it's going to add those in there for you automatically. Perfect. Then to click over here, as long as it's still selected, you can see you have copy series, fill series, or copy cells. Copy cells would just copy Q1, 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 Q2. Series allows you to do numerical or dates and many things like that. So we'll leave the formatting only and fill without formatting for right now. So let's click outside of there. That was number 7 and number 8. Then we're going to save our work. Always remember to save early and often. Going to move over to page number 16. And click on cell B4. So I'll just type in B4 here. and it wants us to edit it. So there's many different ways to edit it. In this particular case, we're going to use the formula bar. It wants us to click to the left of the 4 and press the delete key. So remember, when you press the delete key, the letter or whatever's it to the right of it is going to get deleted. If you hit the backspace, the one to the left. So we're hitting delete key and the 4 goes away, and then we're going to type in 3. And it asks us to click the enter from up top here. When you do that, it's like hitting the enter key, but the cell does not move. So I'm going to go to cell B6. This is B, and this is 6. And this time it wants us to hit the F2 key. The F2 key also puts you in edit mode, only you're staying in the cell. So we're going to hit backspace, and that's going to get rid of the 1, and I'm going to type in 9. And hit enter. Then we're going to go to H6. And we're going to change that from max to maximum. So I'm going to go up in H6. We're going to double click in the formula bar. Remember, this is the formula bar. So once I double click here, that selects as max. So it wants us to type in maximum. And we'll hit the enter key. Now we're going to do a different type of double 6 in here. So we're going to double click in H7. And that puts us in edit mode. It's just like as if you hit F2. So here we're going to type in, let's see. We're going to type to the right of the N, we're going to type in IMUM for minimum. Boom. That's done. Save our work. I'm hitting Control S to save it. On page 1.8. So we're going to copy and move cell in cell F3. So let's go to F1, 2, 3. We're going to click the copy button, and we're going to paste it into A13. I'm just going to hit Control C. Then we're going to go to A13 and Control V to paste it there. The next thing is we're going to select the range H5 to H7. So here's H5 to H7. And let's see what it wants us to do. And then we're going to drag it to A15 and release it. This is the same as copying and pasting or cutting and pasting. So let's just drag it down here. And let's see what happens. Boom. It moved it over there. If I wanted to copy it, I can hold the Control key. I'm more of a fan of cut and paste. So let's undo this. And I'm going to hit Control X. And notice the marching ants around it. That means it's selected. And I'm going to hit Control V. The way you do this is totally up to you. I'm not a big fan of drag and drop, but you can do that any way that you see fit. I'm on page 110 right now, and this is where we're going to start using some simple formulas. Some of them really don't make a lot of sense, especially when we start adding things manually as opposed to using the AutoSum. So you'll see both ways in there. So first thing is we're going to go to F4. So I will hit here and type in F4 if I can do it finally. And now we're going to do a bunch of adding. We want to add B through E. So we're hitting the equal sign. That starts off a formula. And you can either type it in or click. So I want to add B4. And I'm hitting the plus sign. C4. I'm going to hit the plus sign again. Plus sign one more time. And then we're done. Hit the enter key, and that will add these things up. Now the danger to this is if you add another column in the middle, the total is not going to change when you add information in there. So you want to use AutoSum. So now we're going to click in cell B13, which is right here. And we're going to click the auto sum. Now, if you use the drop down arrow, you get more options. Besides sum, you get average, count, min, and max, and a few other things. If you're just going to do the auto sum or the sum, you can just click sum here. And what that will do, it will start adding things up until it finds a non-number. So I'm going to hit the enter key here, and that will add it. So let me delete this 162 here. And let's hit the auto sum again. Notice that it automatically updated. But let me hit the auto sum again. Notice that it only goes up to here because this is a non-number cell. So then we can just expand it however way you want to do it. And we're back. Now, we need to add what was in here. So I'm just going to undo a whole bunch of times. And we're back. So you can see we have the auto sum in here, just sum of the range of B4 to B12. And now we're going to save our work as well. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to F4. And I want to make sure that I did not miss something, which I think I did. Yes, we need to copy this all the way down to here. And let's see what happens. And boom. Notice that it adjusted. It is now E4. This is D. That's what's called relative reference. That means to adjust the row or the column based upon whether you're going to the left or right, or up or down in there. You'll see more about that next. So that's all of page 10. Let's go to 11. So this is copying formulas with relative references. So we're going to go to F12, which is right here. I'm sorry, we're going to go to F4. And we're going to copy down to F12 using the fill handle. Or if you don't like doing that, just hit Control-C and drag down like this to F12. And that adds the same thing in here. However, this is not a good thing. It really should be the auto sum. And I will show you why very quickly. I'm going to insert a row. And I'm going to put in, notice the 614, I'm going to put in 50 here. And that did not change. So let's get rid of the row. And let's change this to auto sum. And now let's insert that row again. And I'll put in 100, and it should change to 714. And that's because it's sum of B4 to F4. So it took into account that extra column in there. So let's change this and copy it all the way down again so it gets done right. Okay, I don't believe the book tells you to do that, but this is the proper way to do things. So now we're going to click cell C13. And let's see, click B. And we're going to save our work. So now we're going to use absolute references. So now you're going to see an issue in here. So we're going to go to G3. Going to type in the %. Then I'm going to, that's just state total. Then we're just going to go in here and we need to type in % of total. Okay. So I'm just going to type it in up here of total. And we're down over here. So now we're going to get a %. So the first thing is we want to type in equals. Then we want F4. and divided by F13, which is something I missed. So we have to fix this. Let's put in an auto sum here, and boom. So now we'll try it again. Equals F4 divided by F13. So that's going to give us the total percentage of sales for Boston in here of everything. So now we're going to copy and paste down. However, we're going to have an issue. So we're going to go G4 straight down here, and we're going to get a whole bunch of divide by zeros. And that's very simple, because notice when we go down here, it says F4 by F14. Well, F14 is got nothing in it. F15, that's relative reference. So the way you fix that is you use what's called absolute reference, and you do that by putting dollar signs in. So we're going to hit F2. And again, there's many ways to do this. So notice that we start here. This F13 is red. So if you put, I'm jumping ahead of myself, so I'm doing this by memory. So I'm going to hit F4. And notice that it put dollar signs in there. Now when I copy it down, everything works. So look over here. It says F5 divided by F13. So the F13, this says it never changes. And we have F6 and so on all the way down over here. It does not change. So I'm saving my work here now. Control S. That's everything on page 114. And now we're going to operate, do multiple operators for the formula. So I'm on 116. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop right here so this video does not get too long, and we'll do 2 parts to it. So I will be taking up on 116 in the second half of this video.